Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, I'm going to be teaching you an original tune that I wrote, which is for baritone ukulele. Now, I know in the performance we saw AJ play the entire tune on an electric uke. If you don't have one, no worries. The song sounds just as good with an acoustic ukulele, and that's actually what I'm going to be teaching you how to play with. I'll be using this acoustic uke. Now let's talk a little bit about this song because it's kind of interesting. The inspiration for me writing this was to kind of copy the format that you hear with a tune like Fade to Black by Metallica. Every time I listen to that song, it's like 4 or 5 separate compositions within one song. It's really, really interesting. So with this tune, I tried to use that same approach. We have 4 themes that we're going to be learning. The first theme is this soft, beautiful, kind of somber. It's a little bit sad sounding. And what you're going to be playing is this gorgeous melody over arpeggiated chords that the guitar player is playing. Now in theme 2, the energy changes. We go into this like higher energy, oomph kind of feel, and you're going to be playing a solo on the ukulele. Then for theme 3, we switch it up again. We're going back to single note melody lines, but you're going to be doubling it with the guitar player, and the second time through, you're going to be moving what you play up a third to create a harmony, which we'll talk about more when we get to that part of the lesson. And then finally, in theme 4, you're going to be doing more chord work for your playing. So all 4 of these themes, they each have a different feel and they each have a different playing style. So this is kind of like 4 tunes in one sort of feel. It's interesting. I thought it was a really cool approach because a lot of times we learn a pop tune and it's like intro to the verse, to the chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. But it's like it all has the same kind of feel, all has the same kind of flow. This one is very different. So I hope you enjoy this interesting form. And let's take a step back now. Let's talk a little bit about this lesson. So in this video, which is the part 1 lesson, I'm going to teach you the first half of the song. If you want to learn the second half, I'll be teaching that in the part 2 lesson, which you can watch by clicking this link or going to the site rockclass101.com, doing a search for the song's name. Now also on that page will be the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer. Now this is a great feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tab scroll across in real time, highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. Just a great asset in learning this tune that much easier. And last but not least, there will be the tabs that you can print off to follow along with. That's on that lesson page as well, plus backing tracks. So once you learn how to play the ukulele parts, you can download the backing tracks to play along with the band at home. And we'll have multiple speeds. We'll have 100% speed, 75% speed, and if you can feel a beat at 50%, I'll upload that as well. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit now about a couple key points with learning this tune, and then we'll jump into actually learning it. So the first thing I want to touch on is our right hand approach for finger picking. And this is a song that's kind of open-ended. You can really use any approach, but just to give you a couple ideas, you could use a 4-finger approach where each finger gets its own string. So thumb is string 4, index is string 3, middle is string 2, ring is string 1, or you could use a 3-finger approach. So thumb gets double duty, 4 and 3, index gets string 2, middle gets string 1. Now when we have melody notes that fall on the same string, I'm going to be using piccato picking, which is fancy terminology that just means alternate picking. So you can see me vamp on the first string, and I'm going to be picking with my middle, following with my index. So we always lead with the middle, follow with the index. And it's a really efficient way to play notes that fall on one string in rapid succession. So it's a lot less work for a right hand to go than to try to do one finger for every single note. So keep that in mind when we have a little burst of melody notes that fall on one string. If you want a little extra help with that, I'll put a link to our flamenco lesson called La Gitanita in the description box below. Just a heads up, it is for regular reentrant ukulele tuning, not baritone. Last thing I want to touch on is the time signature that we're playing on, which is 6/8. So for this tune, we want to count out 6 beats per measure, there are 6 eighth notes per measure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, next measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, next measure, and so forth. So that's everything. Let's talk about our intro. Now, our intro is really easy to play because we do not play anything. So we have a 8-bar intro where the guitar player is playing an arpeggiated chord progression, and what we want to do is we just want to sit it out, and one thing that you can do is to count out the bars that you're not playing. So you want to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, to all the way up to 8. That just helps you keep track of where you're at in the tune. So our first notes that we're playing begin with measure number 9. So let's do this. Let's put up 9 through 12 up on the screen, and I'll go ahead and play through this melody. Take a look at 9 and 10 and 11 to 12 really quick. You'll notice that it's identical. Here's what it sounds like. And let me do this. I'll count it out as I play as well. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so very, very simple, because we're literally playing 3 notes, but what makes it a little bit challenging is making sure that we play on the correct beat. Okay, so for measure number 9, we're just going to take our index finger, we're going to play the 7th fret on the 1st string, and we're going to hold that out for the entire bar. So we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can see that that note gets tied or held into measure number 10, and we're going to hold it for half of the bar. So we keep counting 1, 2, 3 into bar 10. So if we try 9 into 10, we have this. I'll start on 4, come in on 1 with me. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Nice. So at this point, we're going to just move up to the 9th fret. We're going to play that note, and then the 10th fret. Now here's the kicker. You're going to play 9 on beat 4, hold into 5, and then you're going to play 10 on beat 6. Okay? So let's see if we can try that together. Let's start at measure 9, and we'll play to the end of 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Now, as I mentioned earlier, 11 and 12 is exactly the same as 9 and 10. So you're literally playing what you just did 2 times in a row. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Now let's take a look at our next 4 measures. And we can see that we're going to 12. So I left off playing with index and middle finger. So I'm just going to use my pinky finger to play 12 on that 1st string. And we are going to hold this note, the 12th fret. We're going to hold that note out for 4 beats. So we want to play it and count 1, 2, 3, 4. On beat 5, we're going to lift that pinky up, and we're going to still have these 2 fingers planted, so you want to keep those anchored the entire time. You're going to play 10, pull off to 9, and then slide down to 7. Okay? So this all happens on beat 5. We have 5 and 6. So let me put it into context. I'm going to play measure 13 in its entirety and count it out. I have 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, let's try that together. A little bit slower probably. So 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now this note that you slid down to, that 7th fret, that's going to get tied or held into the next measure, and we're going to hold it for half of that measure. So in reality, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, rest. All right, let's give that a shot. 4, 5, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, rest. So a little tricky, but we have one extra note in measure 14 at the very end. On beat 6, we are going to play 12 again. Okay, so we've got kind of a bit of a jump up the neck. So let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do 13 into 14, and let's add that extra note on beat 6 at the very end of measure 14. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Now, the next 2 bars, we're going to be playing on beat 1 and beat 4. And that makes it evenly divided. So you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So rhythmically, very simple because we're just breaking them in half. So as far as fingering, you can move up with the ring finger and then down with the index, but there's really no right or wrong, so you can experiment with which fingers you use for your left hand and just pick whatever is most comfortable for you. But we're going to go 14 to 12 to 10 to 9. And remember, we hit on 1 and 4 for both of those measures, so let's give that a shot. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So very simple because we don't have any kind of syncopation to end this. Now, let's do this. Let's see if we can try 13 through 16. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. So that's everything for theme 1. So here's what we're going to do. Let's do a play along with AJ. I'm going to keep it at 100% speed. That way, if you feel like you can play it up to tempo, you can just jump right in. If you need to slow it down, you can use the cog in the YouTube player to slow it down to a speed that's better for you. But I'm going to keep that intro in, so you'll hear the 8-bar intro. I want you guys to count through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. And then come in on measure 9 and give this theme 1 a shot. So let's give it a shot. All right, so going into theme 2, the energy of the tune vamps up. So we have a lot more energy, and what we're going to be playing is a solo. Now, let's take a look at the first 2 measures. And if you look at the rhythm, you can see that it is all 8th notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But there is a little catch. There is a grace note slide on beat 1 and beat 4. So think of the song Johnny Be Good. Da 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 da. Right? Think that intro. They're using the same kind of fill and technique and vibe that we're doing right here. So use that as a reference point for what you're playing right here. Now, we're going to be playing out of 2 shapes with our left hand. Here's the first shape. Take your middle finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and I want you to slide up a half step. So slide to 4 and 3. So we have slide and then pluck twice, and then repeat. Slide and pluck twice. Now this slide is fast. It's a grace note slide, which simply means we're adding flourish to the note. So instead of us going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That sounds kind of robotic and boring. We can jazz it up by going slide 2, 3, slide 4, whoop, slide 2, 3, slide 5, 6. Right? It sounds much cooler to do something like that instead of going. Right? It's just very kind of boring sounding, very like vanilla ice cream. It's nice to have a little sprinkles sometimes. Okay, let's give that a shot. Remember, this slide happens on beat 1 and and beat 4. Right, so don't linger on the slide. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Nice. Now, going into our next measure, we go into shape 2 with our left hand. Shape 2 is going to be second and third finger. So you can see they're stacked. So take the middle finger, put it on 5 on string 3, and the ring underneath, 5 on string 2. This time around, slide up a whole step. So 5 to 7. Pluck twice after, and repeat. So we have slide, pluck, pluck, slide, pluck, pluck. Okay? So keep it nice and steady though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those two bars together sound like this. So I'd recommend just hitting pause right now. Just work on going from the first position to the second position. Because if we look at measure 19 and 20, just look at 19. We're going back to first position for our left hand, so second and first finger. So place your middle finger on 9 on string 3, index on 8 on string 2. This time around, go up a whole step. Okay, so slide up a whole step and 2 plucks and repeat. Okay, but keep it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so here's what I would do. I would practice 17, 18, and 19 as one whole musical phrase. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to just get comfortable with the muscle memory to do that. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can hear one of them wasn't super clean. That's actually a good example of playing through your mistake. Anytime you get to a performance level play along, you just want to play through any mistake. You don't want to stop and start again. Because if you actually go into a performance and you make a mistake, people notice when you stop. They won't notice if you play through the mistake, unless they are the most astute musician and they want to be a negative Nancy and sit there and go, they made a mistake, which I promise you most people won't ever do that. Now, looking in at the last bar right here, bar number 20, we're going to start with the same grace note slide on beat 1. Then, with your ring finger, play 12 on string 2. Then drop down to 9 on string 1. That gives you the first half of the bar. So we have slide 12, 9, or beat 1, 2, 3. Then for the second half of the bar, we're going to the 10th fret for beat 4. Then let me put a box around these 3 notes. This is a cluster of notes. These happen on beat 5. So you're going to do a quick hammer on pull off, 9 to 10 to 9. So we hammer on and then pull off. But that's fast. It all happens on beat 5. And then you're going back to 10 on string 2 with the middle finger. So we have slide 12, 9, 10, and then back to 10 on string 2. So here's what it sounds like if I play up to speed. We have da 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 ba da da da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just want to get that stuck in your head. Da 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 da. It's hard to kind of sing what happens on beat 5, but keep it nice and steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tricky with that quick hammer on pull off. Let's give it a shot together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and let's try it again slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tricky. That's probably one you want to hit pause and just work on it. Da do da 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 boom ba da 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 da. Nice and slow and steady. probably, I think it's the most difficult measure we've seen thus far. But let me go ahead and play through 17 through 20 so we can hear everything as a whole now. So that's a pretty good gist of everything so far. Now that gives us half of theme number 2. So if we look at the second half for theme number 2, we're going to be switching to predominantly single notes. So here is the next 4 bars, and let me go ahead and play through this. It sounds like this. So kind of a cool walk down. So the first time through, we had a really neat walk up. Now we have a really cool walk down. So it's kind of like a call and response, right? We had a call that goes up, and how do we respond to it? We can't keep going up. We ran out of room. We have to respond by going down. It's like a question and an answer, right? If somebody asks you a question, you don't respond with a question. You respond with an answer. So that's what we have with this musical theme. So it's kind of cool in terms of if you're interested in composition writing, specifically soloing. Now, let's go ahead and start with 21. So we're going to slide 10 to 12, and we're going to do the same grace note. So it's a quick slide. And I'm going to use my middle finger. Then I'm going to come back and play 10. Now this is going to happen on beat 1 and beat 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So very simple for that first measure right here. Going into the next one, number 22, we're going to lay flat with our index on 7. And we can use a little strum attack, or you can pluck it if you want. Either or works. But I'm just going to go ahead and play string 3 and 2. And then I'm going to move down to 3rd and 5th fret on string 2. So rhythmically I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have half the measure, 1, 2, 3, then the 3rd fret on beat 4, and then on beat 6, 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's see if we can try 21 into 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Now, here's where it's a little tricky. 23 is all eighth notes, but you can see the first 3 notes are a hammer-on pull-off. A lot of times folks like to play that super fast. Make sure you don't rush the hammer-on pull-off here. So you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want every note to have the same duration and time. So try not to rush that hammer-on pull-off. If you find yourself rushing it, just play every note as picked notes. Or even pick, pull off, that might help. So you can kind of alter it. You don't have to do the legato technique each time. So let's give this one a shot. We start with our index on 2, hammer on to 3, pull off to 2, then go to string 2 with your middle, play 3, and then string 3 with your ring, play 4, and then middle finger, 3. So I have hammer, pull off, 3rd fret, string 2, 4th fret, string 3, and then 1 fret behind. Keep it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With me. So looping a measure like that's always a great way to practice, especially a trickier one like that. So give that a shot for your practicing. Don't just play one time through. Just loop it. Keep it steady. Going into our last measure right here, we are going to go back with our ring finger, but this time around I want you to kind of lay it flat. You see how it's laying flat on string 3 and string 4? So I've it's almost like a tiny little bar chord up here. I'm going to go ahead and play string 3, 4th fret, and then string 4, 4th fret. So I can cover both notes at the same time. Alternatively, you could use a pivoting approach. Let me start back from 21. Oops. So watch that again. Watch my ring finger. So you can see I'm laying flat on 3rd string, but then I pivot up to the fingertip for the 4th string. So that approach works equally well as well. So pivot or just lay flat. Try both. Pick the one that's best for you. Personally, I like the pivot way, but I know it's kind of tricky for a lot of folks to do. So we play 4 on string 3, 4 on string 4, then we go back to 3 on string 2 with the middle finger, play the open 2nd string, and then finish up 3rd fret, 3rd string, middle finger. Now rhythmically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 8th notes, you're holding the last one for beat 5 and 6. So a little tricky there, so watch out for that rhythm. But together, those 2 bars, sounds like that. It's a little bit of a finger frenzy, but it's good practice for soloing. Let's try together. Da 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 do 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 do. Nice. Now, here's what we're going to try, guys. Let's see if we can play everything for theme number 2. So we're going to cycle through this entire 8 bars, but again, we're going to play along with AJ. Now, I'll start a couple bars before, so I'll start a couple bars, the last couple bars of theme 1, so we have time to jump in. We're not like, boom, rushing into theme 2. And that way we can fill the beat. I'll keep it at 100% speed, but if you need to slow it down, again, you can use the cog in the YouTube player to do just that. So let's give this a shot with AJ. Remember, the first half, we're going up. The second half, we're going down. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so that covers half of the tune. So we have learned, well, we learned the intro, which we didn't have to play anything over. It's just the guitar for 8 bars. And then we learned theme 1, which was this beautiful melody with a little bit of syncopation, a little bit tricky to play sometimes the rhythm. But it was a beautiful single note melody. And then for theme 2, we learned this awesome solo that goes up and down the neck. Now for theme 3, which we're going to be learning in the part 2 lesson, we're going to be playing a single note melody line that becomes a harmony the second time through when it's repeated. So really, really cool stuff is coming up. So if you want to watch the part 2 lesson to learn the rest of this tune, you can do so by clicking this link right here, or going to the site rockclass101.com, doing a search for the song's name. Now also on that page were the tabs that you can print off, keep for your records, plus the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer. Now this is a really cool feature where you can hit play, you can watch that tab, scroll across in real time, highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish, just a great asset for learning this tune that much easier. And don't forget too that we will have backing tracks available for download. So we'll have 100% speed, 75% speed, and if you can feel the beat, 50%. So once you finish learning all the uke parts, you can rock out with the band at home. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the part 1 lesson. I will see you in the part 2 one. Take care.